what we record in our systems from our prior experience, we believe to be reality. Now, everything that we've experienced in the past was interpreted. So if we interpreted that we were a powerful, dominant person, that's what our reality is, because we've seen ourselves as a powerful, dominant person. If we record that we were victims or vulnerable or powerless, that's what we record, and that's what we tend to believe from the past. Now, that's just an interpretation, and we've kind of bought our own story in that process. We've believed that what we interpreted was true and correct, even if it was totally bogus. Even if we consider ourselves to have been weak or powerless or vulnerable, someone else might have seen that as courageous and powerful and loving and kind for us to be that vulnerable emotionally. Or if we thought we were dominant and powerful, someone else might have seen that as abusive or operating as a perpetrator or taking advantage or manipulating us for having been for their own ends, whatever that might, for whatever reason or purpose. So the interpretation is always in the eye of the beholder. There is no factual black and white interpretation that will be true and in any consistent way. So our beliefs, in air quotes, inform our expectations. What we believe to be true determines what we will expect. And what we believe to be true is often determined by what we record in our systems to be true. So the original interpretation generates the belief generates the associated emotions with the belief, and the beliefs then generate the expectation. The expectation then generates the experienced reality quite often in the future. So if we expect someone to be really mean to us and they're really kind to us, we might not even realize they've been kind because we expected them to be mean so much or angry at us so much that the kindness and the love and the gentleness didn't even show up on our radar. Didn't even interpret that it had happened because we assumed and projected and imagined and expected that they were going to be unkind. So is it important that we are able to see the kindness of others and to recognize it when it happens, to recognize when we're being met and supported and loved and cared for, when we're being met, supported, loved, and cared for. And if our expectations from the past say, no, that can't happen because everyone's out to get me, or there aren't any kind people in the world, or it's a dog-eat-dog world, or nobody really cares about anyone, or I don't deserve to be loved. All of those beliefs and feelings create expectations that then become limitations on experienced relationship and reality. And we may be mad at them. If we expect ourselves to be mad at them, we may be mad at them. And or if our expectations overwrite or project onto their kindness and we say they haven't been kind and loving, we might get mad at them even when they're being kind. So you see the discontinuity of reality between different people's perspectives and how challenging relationships are in general, and also how this process of expectation maps to conscious collaboration. Effective, efficient, harmonious, constructive, and conscious collaboration, arriving at shared goals and results and intentions and visions in a united way through mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual understanding, moment by moment by moment, conversation by conversation, team effort by team effort, and collective species level effort by collective species level effort. So this is a process of aligning, if we talk about beliefs here and how they affect collaboration. If we want to be able to collaborate well together, if we have beliefs that we can't collaborate, or we have beliefs that the only way you can collaborate is if you first argue about a bunch of stuff, or the only way you can collaborate is if your ego has its way, or the first, before you can collaborate, you've got to make sure you're safe and you're in control of the process of collaboration. If you have beliefs that support those kinds of dynamics, does it make sense that they run counter to consciously collaborating? Now, if you know that you've got those beliefs and you recognize that they inhibit your process of consciously collaborating, then you can work with them. If you don't understand that you've recorded these beliefs and these recordings and how they affect your process of expectation, you won't be able to get out of your own way in this process. You won't be able to get out of the way of your own subconscious or your own personality or your identity in order to just meet and constructively collaborate. So in this cycle, we're suggesting that it is useful and constructive and feasible for you folks to all dismantle this described cycle and supplant it with conscious discernment that's constant from moment to moment. Consciousness without projection, consciousness without expectation, consciousness without belief, consciousness without requirement of being in control or being safe or things being a certain way or any particular result being achieved by yourself or by the teams you're part of or by your family or by your organization. So in the first step in this cycle, in the top and the middle, we say what we believe and what we feel about our life, ourselves, reality, others, money, power, status, and relationships. That generates resulting projections and filters and expectations on reality. That generates our experience of reality and life and self and others and relationships, which we see through these belief filters and expectational filters and projective dynamics. And that then generates reactive fear and judgmentalness and criticism and victim, perpetrator, rescuer dynamics, or neutral, disengaged observer. I don't care. I'm not going to love because it's not safe to love, or I'm not going to collaborate because these people are all messed up, and I'm not going to collaborate with a bunch of messed up people. And it keeps us focused on safety and control strategies, and potentially even leads to hatred once judgment fails as a mechanism of controlling other people. And that all leads to a revalidation of our original beliefs, and they are often emotionally charged and energetically charged and held in place by the energy of our unresolved past emotions, wounds, traumas, and fears. So this is a cycle of wanting, by the way, wanting our expectations and our beliefs to be real and true, rather than wanting to be happy or loved or cared about or successful or collaborate. And this process of this whole cycle magnifies itself over and over again. So this is a process of recursion, dysfunctional and detrimental recursion, rather than positive, evolving, recursive learning that we practice in the WSS on an ongoing basis. And it's often driven by need, fear of lack, fear of loss, and other fears.